What's next?
Immersion. How important is it? With a massive boom in the escape room industry, keeping up with competitors can prove to be difficult. With new and amazing ideas being thought of every day, what makes any escape room stand out? And the answer to this is immersion. Entering a game and being completely enveloped to the point you mentally are in whatever situation the game is creating. Immersive gameplay is currently on the rise in China with over 350 games in Shanghai alone. What key elements do we use to make a game immersive? What makes a game immersive?
Well, 100%, and actually this goes right into Brian's comment that he just put in there of that'd be great if people read their confirmation emails. How I look at immersion is simply this. Whatever the theme of your escape experience is going to be, that theme needs to permeate everything that they have bought their ticket for. On that note, I'd even include the ticket. So, for example, to Brian's point, when QRZ premiered, we had part of their ticket confirmation was the start of their game. And we made that known. So if you bought your ticket to QRZ, your confirmation would include a link for you to go to Quiet Pharmaceuticals, the pharmaceutical company that's fictionally created in the game, and apply for a position there. And then you would get your, you'd fill out an application, and it was like fun in-game questions and stuff like that. And then you'd get a confirmation, and once you were in, the world would start unfolding because you would get an orientation audio recording, and in the orientation, Dr. Brannigan would come in saying like he cracked the cure and we've done it and blah blah blah, and he'd get fired on the phone call.
Oh, the video.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So part of the experience was already beginning, and that's a way to up the now. Having said that, Brian, people still ignored it. But some didn't. And the ones who didn't would really push that envelope because then they'd be in the game and they'd already have like a leg up on some of the background noise of the game and the story, and they would share it. And they would tell like the rest of the people they were playing with. And then when they would book another game, they would actually look at that confirmation email. So it's a way of really building the world, expanding the immersion, making sure that you're creating whatever that fictional experience is. It needs to permeate the outside world and be a part of their real lives. And that, an element with us comes from our start in alternate reality gaming, which, that's how we built Find Me, was, creating this concept that Dennis Morgan was abducted, and now his family's being interviewed by a private investigator who's reaching out to you for help, and there was an entire pre-game to Find Me before the show ever went live. We did similar aspects with the original Buried Alive. We did similar aspects Windward Hotel. Before that whole thing, there was an entire Emily is Missing campaign, which is the ghost of the little girl that haunted the show. So, to me, that's immersion. Is it important? Damn straight it is. I think that any company that gives a synopsis of their game and that's the end of their immersion, so when they arrive, it's literally nothing else to do with it, what's the point? Anyone can just throw puzzles in a room. Live actors, totally a great move, if you can do it. We don't do live actors in our games if we can help it. Boogeyman does have a live actor in, but that's a very different role.
Yeah.
The reason, now, it's not to say that our games don't have characters, because all of our games have characters. We pre-film things, and we've got unique ways of building them into the sets. And if anyone's ever played with us, we do a lot of stuff with either recessed giant TVs or with projections. And especially over the last year or so, we've moved very dominantly into projections.
Yeah.
Because we're able to create much larger, expansive elements like that. And yeah, well thought out set designs is a huge piece of that. And of course, storytelling, because everything needs to connect to tell the story. And that kind of even goes back into what I was getting at before, with kind of starting the story and starting the immersion of the world well before they enter your facility, because it gives you more time to tell a story. Because right now, you got to figure, for the average escape room, you're telling a story in 60 minutes. Typically, you're going to have to construct a story that plays out in real time, which means you're really talking about writing a scene. Whereas we have 2 hours, and in our 2 hours, we're able to tell much more of a story. But having said that, you're still dealing with multiple sets. You're dealing with, putting a lot more, like, for example, in a movie, you're likely to have a scene that happens, and then your next scene takes place 2 days later.
Yeah.
You can't do that in an escape room game.
I mean, just make a really long escape room game.
Well,
First 24-hour escape room.
You can do that, or I've even always had thoughts of, like, being inside of the game, and then, like, there's a little mini hallway that connects a room, and as you walk through that hallway, it's just 2 days later is painted on the wall as, like, your cut scene. But, so, like, yeah, there's ways to do stuff like that, but for the most part, you're dealing with a scenario of a story. But if you pregame, you can now tell more story. Hell, you could even, we send out thank you messages after people play the game. You could do more story after the game. Probably not going to be as adventurous, but, like, you can do more stuff. So, like, one of the things we're starting to implement with QRZ is the missing presumed infected wall, which Mike Parada and I had discussed a couple days ago. An entire wall of players who've already participated in QRZ, their headshot being in a missing presumed infected chain link fence wall, so that as people come in, they might see friends and family on the wall, and create kind of a fun social media moment or photo experience. So that's a way of post game still keeping the world alive. So yeah, I hope we've given some people some insights into immersive gaming as it relates to escape rooms, as far as we think it does.